Hello and welcome to another video review. This is And Yet It Moves, or AYIM, for PC, Mac, Linux, and WiiWare. This review is coming to you courtesy of Kodapoika. He sent me the Humble Bundle which included this game, so thank you. It is greatly appreciated. This is an indie platformer by Broken Rules that was first released in 2009 and then again in 2010 for WiiWare, and then again in the Humble Indie Bundle number 3, which was 2011, and that's what I got. But it was originally a university project that won some awards, and they decided, hey, we're going to put this into a full release. And when it came out, it got received pretty well, actually, which kind of surprised me, considering that it's just so unusual. And reviewers don't necessarily like unusual. So I have to wonder, were they focusing too much on the fact that it is unusual, or were they judging it as a whole? Well, the first thing you'll notice is that the visuals are very unusual. It's done in the style of paper collage. And when you think video game, you do not think paper collage. So as a result, it looks very unique in the sphere of gaming, and so you have to give it props for that. I don't really find the graphics all that appealing. There probably are some people who like them. Everything looks like a paper cutout, and it's even got the rough edges around it and everything. So that's kind of a cool touch, but I just don't find the graphics appealing at all. Animations are decently smooth, but they seem a little robotic sometimes. And I think that's from the desire to put it into that kind of paper collage style and make everything look like a paper animation. But still, it's a cool visual style. I just don't like the aesthetic that much. As for the sound design, it's not very good. The sound effects themselves are barely existent. When you die, you just hear whoosh, and it's like somebody just made that noise. So it's just awkward. The sound effects themselves, there aren't that many of them, but they're not impressive. And there's no music to speak of, so that's kind of an issue too. But there's no voice acting either, so there's another thing there. So you have this interesting visual style accompanied by practically no sound. Makes for an interesting game, but I can't really say that the lack of sound is a good thing. But what really matter are the story, or in this case, lack thereof. There is no story in this game. So it focuses entirely on the gameplay. And it revolves around, quite literally, this mechanic of flipping the world around 90 degrees. Which is a cool idea. You change the way you fall and everything, and it makes for some interesting platforming elements. So you're going along and you tilt the screen and suddenly you're on a different wall, and you tilt it again and you're on the ceiling what was the ceiling, and you just keep doing that over and over again. It's a really cool idea. The problem I had with it was that the momentum that you retain as you go through this tends to kill you. And that gets pretty annoying. Now, you don't really have to worry much about failing miserably. You have unlimited lives, and you do have a checkpoint system that's pretty decent. I mean, it's not anywhere near bad, obviously. It just, sometimes it can get a little bit annoying when you're right next to a checkpoint, and you find out after the fact that it was a checkpoint, and you're like, why couldn't I have taken that step further and not, fallen due to the momentum? Anyway, so the momentum becomes an issue. It also can be kind of cool, because it adds a different spin on the gameplay. And it does play otherwise like a platformer should. I mean, you run around, you jump on platforms, and that's kind of it. The problem is, it tries to be puzzly. And the puzzles consist of, basically, you rotate the screen and things happen. That's it. And to be honest with you, the puzzles are pretty awful. They don't require a lot of brain power at all. They just require, oh, I see what's going on here, therefore, do it. And ultimately, the game just lacks any sort of stimulation. I mean, you go into this thing, and it's a puzzle platformer. You're like, okay, well, the puzzle should make me think. They don't. You think, well, it's a platformer. It should make me focus on jumping. It should require a lot of precision. Well, to some degree, yes, but it's really more luck. If you twist things at just the right time, then you don't die. If you twist them at the barely a second off, then you die. So it's a little bit unforgiving in that regard, and ultimately that becomes a very tedium-inducing mechanic rather than a cool mechanic like it should be. So the thing I felt like with this game was that they just didn't utilize the mechanic to its full potential. It felt like it was just more of a gimmick to say, hey, we have this, than anything else. And while it is a cool idea, while it does have a cool visual style, it's just not a fun game. And as a result, that's why I give it a 2 out of 5. Thanks for watching.